Congratulations, Paul.
Thank you. Thank you.
Call this meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Port Clinton City Council meeting, regularly scheduled December 28, 2021, in the Linda Hart Law Council chambers. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance, Lord's Prayer, and moment of silence for those serving and protecting our country.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thy will be done, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
Thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever.
Amen.
Thank you. You may be seated. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Dave Gilo.
Here.
Pat Hovis. Here. Chuck Gilman. Here. Lisa Zavodian. Here. Roseanne Hickman.
Excused.
Marta Phillips. Here. Jerry Trolley.
Present.
Council, you previously received the December 14, 2021 regular meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Madam President, I move to accept the minutes from the 14th meeting.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Thank you, Mr. Trolley. I have a motion by Ms. Phillips, seconded by Mr. Trolley, to approve the December 14, 2021 regular meeting minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Thank you. Motion carries. The chair notes that certification has been made regarding compliance with the rules and notification of this meeting. We have no guest presentation, no public comments. Move on to executive officers' reports. As far as the mask, the city has imposed mask mandate, and I agree with that, with the way that we are with COVID and everything right now. It's on city property, so thank you. So at council meetings, it would be asked at this point, until the administration decides they don't need to be on, have them on city property. We will be wearing them. Council also, in January, will need to vote on the new rules of council. I have a few suggestions. I will have the clerk mail out the rules with the suggestions, and then would like to vote on them at the first meeting if possible, if not by the second meeting in January. And if anyone else has any suggestions, they can forward this to me also. Tonight we have a second reading on ordinance 36-21. Administration has asked that pass on its second reading due to the time-sensitive nature of it. Also, there are two new ordinances in resolution. Ordinance 37-21 that was assigned to finance. Administration has asked that be passed on its first reading tonight for time sensitive, and I'm sure Mr. Hatfield will discuss that also. Then we have a resolution 21-13. They've also asked that be passed on the first reading. That's the SID. It was on Mr. Belo's Economic and Community Development Committee, and we can discuss that during this time. I would like to thank Mr. Hatfield for all your years of service. Mr. Hatfield started out as counsel at large. I don't know if anyone realized that, from January 1st, 2012 through December 14th, 2012, and then he became the auditor, and his last day will be the 31st. So thank you for everything that you've done. And also, Ms. Zavodian, her term will end on the 31st. She was sworn in during the height of the pandemic, so on January 1st. So thank you for everything you've done. And Mr. Belo has tendered his resignation letter effective on the 31st also. Thank you, Mr. Belo, for all that you've done. I know that you're still going to be around to help us and everything. So thank everyone. I'd like to welcome the newly elected officials. Look forward to working with you all, and Happy New Year to all. move on to the mayor's report.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, everyone. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. There are some folks with us today from the Main Street Port Clinton organization, Resolution 1721? 1321, thank you. Before you tonight deals with something called the SID, the Special Improvement District. This organization and their economic restructuring subcommittee has been working on this for the better part of a decade, basically establishing a taxable base in the downtown area. And I'll just shut up and let them talk to you about it in case you have any questions. Who would like to, who won the rock, paper, scissors? Okay. Go ahead, Nicole Kochensparger, everybody. Yay.
So essentially what a special improvement district is, in layman's terms, is a condo association made up of all of the building owners in our downtown. We spent years surveying our building owners on what they wanted to come out of the special improvement district. We have a set of those survey answers ready to present to the newly elected board once the resolution is passed. There is a condition that was included with the ordinance where we have the signatures needed from the building owners. We needed 60%. What we presented is 63%. We're actually at a higher number. It was just that there were so many buildings transferring hands at the time that we did the petition, so we just didn't have those new building owner signatures. We just have their word of mouth commitment. So we are over the 60% that we need to present the petition. It doesn't stop here tonight with the resolution is passed. It does have to go to the county auditor. The auditor then assesses all of those individual building owners. They have to again agree to this, and then once that is passed, they'll have the tax associated with their, I think it's biannual tax assessments. So that's what the SID is, and like Mike said, Main Street's been working on this for at least 8 or 9 years. These guys have been with me every step of the way since I took over the process, but we're happy. Snow removal all at once in downtown, window washing on the same day every other week, seagull control, things like that. It was just some of the things that came out of that survey that we did of all the building owners downtown. So.
And if I could, this is not taking any resources away from the city. The individuals in the designated area, and the area runs on Madison from Perry to the railroad tracks and 2nd Street from Jefferson to Monroe. Those building owners have agreed to assess themselves for the services that they will determine are needed. Our surveys have a top 5 list. Part of this resolution creates a board of directors who will actually administer the program, decide what actually happens, the funds that are needed. Is that?
Yep.
So there's, again, after this, there's no additional action that the city will need to take in this part. So it's just another step forward in making our downtown a better place to visit.
And the thing about it is that with the SID and with every other city in the state of Ohio that currently has one, the mayor will appoint two of his designated people to the board, and then he will also have a seat on the board as well as myself and additional building owners. And that way that there's validity in what we're doing with the money, and it's not just a random group of people deciding that we're going to string some Christmas lights downtown instead of actually shoveling sidewalks when they need shoveled.
And the 2 people I've approached are Ms. Phillips and Mr. Giroli. They have both agreed to serve on that board. Any questions for these folks? Anything you guys want to add? You're both right in the heart of it.
Yeah, no, definitely support it. Definitely, it's been a long project, and I've appreciated the support and working with it. It's been quite the learning process, but I think it's something the city can be proud of, and something the downtown area can be proud of, and I just think it complements everything else that's going on down there.
Is there the ability to expand this at a later date?
Yes.
And the services.
Yeah, there's really no limit to what services this body decides to provide in the designated area. Any questions for these folks before they head
Just
home?
not a question, but a comment. Thanks for the information, and Nicole, thanks for answering some of my questions. We met as a committee last week and recommended approving it tonight. I'm sure it'll pass later tonight, 7-0, I suspect. It's the last thing on the agenda, so you don't have to stick around. But thank you for coming and voicing your support for it. We look forward to seeing it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
But yes, you're more than welcome to stay, but you do not have to. If you'd like to stay.
Thank you.
Have a good day, Eric.
See you at the Wally Festival.
Happy New Year.
Or Wally Drop. Oh, both. The festival and the drop. I'm thinking summer here. Well, as President Council alluded to, and as you can see, we're all wearing masks, just for another public reiteration. Mr. Colson and I conferred with a wide range of people from local health department to department supervisors, reached out to Mrs. Sardi, just a wide range of folks, read everything there is out there on the CDC currently. We have some high occurrences, obviously, throughout our community. We have some issues within the city and the employees. So we felt that it deemed necessary to put masks back on. We're asking anyone that comes to visit any of our city offices that they place a mask on. There'll be a supply in the lobby of City Hall. If you'd like to call ahead to make an appointment for any city department, that's certainly agreeable, 734-5522, and go from there. We're hoping, I think we all hope that this is over sooner rather than later. This seems to be Groundhog's Day again and again and again. Obviously, the Christmas holiday has passed. People are starting. I have a ceramic Christmas tree that's about 13 inches tall. I put it in a box and put it in the back of the closet. But many people love the atmosphere of a live Christmas tree. Mrs. Ostheimer was kind enough to verify with Republic Services. During the first 2 weeks of January, they will pick up Christmas trees at the curb. They must be free of all ornaments and displays, just the raw Christmas tree. Another alternative option for your live Christmas tree, African Safari Wildlife Park will be happy to take your Christmas tree. They use it for habitat and food for the animals in their park. Just give them a call. It may take some time. They're technically closed, but if you keep trying their phone number, you can find that on the internet. They will certainly do that. Or there's also the third method, which I call the Snip Snyder method. He'll collect all the trees in the neighborhood, put them in his backyard for habitat for the wildlife, the squirrels, the birds through the winter, and then in the spring, summer, chop them up and burn them in his fire pit over hot dogs. So there's always that option as well. Yes, ma'am.
If I may add to that for one moment, I apologize. It is the day of your trash pickup that they're picking it up, not any other day. Only the day your trash regularly picked up on those 2 weeks.
Thank you. Thank you for. I left my notes at home going off of what I remember. Again, the Walleye Drop is scheduled for this weekend. Everything I've heard and I've talked to the committee chairman earlier today. They have no intention of canceling or delaying anything. There may be some adjustments to the kids' events, which will take place inside. So keep an eye and ear out for that and any updates on that activity. It's good to have it back in the downtown area. Last year, obviously, it was done via the internet. And then finally, goodbye to several folks here. Mr. Hatfield, you've been invaluable. Obviously, Mrs. Hanson, your years of experience, we talked about those a couple of weeks ago. Mrs. Sardi, although you're Mrs. Sardi, there's two Lisas.
And both Lisa Essence.
Yeah, two Lisas. Ms. Lodian, although your time was short, your input was valuable, and maybe someday you'll find your way back to this room. Thank you very much. Full disclosure, with one of the reasons Mr. Velo has submitted his letter of resignation. With Mr. Hatfield's departure, the Democratic Central Committee for the City of Port Clinton will choose his replacement, but as mayor, I have the ability to place someone in that position on an interim basis. Mr. Velo has agreed to accept my appointment, and shortly after the new year, we'll swear him in and get him going as interim auditor. One of the big factors about getting an interim person in is everything's happening at the beginning of the year. There's a lot of stuff that has to happen right away in order to make sure that the city functions properly throughout the calendar year. So I want to thank Mr. Velo for his time on City Council and thank him for accepting first answering the phone call when he saw my name on caller ID, and then agreeing to accept the appointment as interim.
Thank you. I've gotten better at that over. Thank you.
So with that, Madam President, I wish you all a happy new year. Stay healthy, stay safe, and if anyone has any questions about anything, I'm available.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
African Safari, as I recall, they said they want the trees without ornaments and tinsel as well, but some of them were rejected early on when they were being brought up or straight to the house. No leftover electrical wires, I assume that's still in?
That is correct. That is correct.
Popcorn, some people still do the popcorn strings.
I think they just want the trees. Yeah.
Just tree, no popcorn.
Just trees.
No strings.
It's edible.
Yeah.
Any questions for the mayor? Anyone? Okay, auditor's report.
Nothing tonight, Madam President. So, as you all know, that I am a man of many words, so I prepared a very long speech for tonight, but I won't bore you with all that. No, I just want to say, really, in all honesty, believe it or not, it's been a short 10 years. I've learned a lot. I mean, I know that sounds funny, but really, it's really gone by really quickly. It's been an honor serving the city of Portland and for them, the citizens around me, citizens of Portland. More importantly, it's been a pleasure working with all of you. I feel that we've developed a bond, a friendship, and I think we've really done some tremendous things for the city in the last several years, so I really appreciate that. So, with that out of the way, the real order of business is ordinance 3721. This is the end of the year budget adjustments that we do each year. You know that I don't like having council approve ordinances on the first reading, but just due to the time constraints, I would ask that council please approve that so that we can finalize the budget for the new year. As in years past, it's really more or less an accounting function, taking money from certain line items and appropriating to other line items so that way our books balance. And that's all I have, Madam President. Thank you.
Any questions for the mayor? And then the treasurer's report, and also we had, at the last council meeting, we had treasurer's night in Stanston, so it will be your last meeting also.
All right, thank you very much. I enjoyed all the party I had, and I'll be back once in a while to see people. The bed tax for a year-to-date number has grown again, $288,615.03. And the dock tax is the same as last time, but still ahead of projections, $28,637.96. And I have enjoyed working with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Lawdirector's report.
Thank you, Madam President. I do want to thank Mr. Hatfield, Ms. Hanson, Ms. Civilian. I've enjoyed working with all of you. You've all been very helpful. And Ms. all of you, and I'll be calling some of you for help and guidance because it's necessary for me. So I did want to touch on just one interesting thing that happened. Ms. Ostheimer and I, in 2020, we started paying more attention to the bed tax and the dock tax, and Ms. Ostheimer has really gone after and found a lot more delinquents. We've really reached out to marinas. We've reached out to one of our biggest offenders, the condo owners who felt for years that they were exempt from having to pay. And that's a reason why the numbers are so high this year. 2020 was a bit of a wash through COVID, but 2021 we're really seeing a lot of it. My job comes at the end when I write them a letter asking them to pay. We had two individuals who disregarded my letters, felt that they did not need to pay. So what we did was we filed complaints against them in the Ottawa County Municipal Court. Each person received 2 complaints, one for failing to file a registration form for their transient accommodation, and the second was for failing to pay a tax. And they were served by the sheriff in their counties, or I guess they were served actually by certified mail. But they were both served on the 22nd of December, and we received calls from both of them And one gentleman drove up from his hometown in Medina and paid in full the amount and registered. And the other gentleman, we took care of his over the phone. There were some issues with the person who was managing his property. So we got that squared away as well. They're both up to date. They're both in black. There's no issues anymore with them. And I will be dismissing their complaints now since we don't have any more issues with them. So I just wanted to report that we are definitely doing well, and we are seeing the process all the way through. And I felt like that was kind of a little bit of a win because we did get the two people who've been leading us for a little while. We did get them in here, and so I just wanted to report that. And I have nothing additional. Thank you.
Move on to committee reports. Mr. Beal, Finance.
Thank you, Madam President. The Finance Committee met earlier this evening and took up and recommended approval tonight ordinances 31, 32, 33, 36, and 37. 37 being one Mr. Hatfield spoke about with the budget adjustments at the end of the year.